Well, a handful of days ago, I actually went out of my way to buy a Lego set that I didn't expect to want as much as I did. It was going to be this set right here, and I actually bought it off of eBay, but unfortunately I got word the day before yesterday that the seller ended up just canceling the order, which was kind of unfortunate, but hey, things happen, right? So I didn't end up getting the set, which is pretty unfortunate because I had a really good deal on it. It was more than half off, and it was brand new in the box, so I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. That said, though, I could have taken this energy and tried to search for another one. In fact, I did, and I found several others, but I decided against getting this set, instead wanting to focus on something else, mostly because A, this is a Sonic set at the end of the day, and although what I'm buying is for my own personal taste, I can't imagine a Sonic set doing it particularly well on the channel here, at least not yet. Also because it's a fairly large set, it's quite sprawling, and I just don't have the space to adequately film something like that. I don't imagine I'd be doing a review on it necessarily. A lot of people already have, and we're kind of past that point anyway. So rather, instead of doing that, what I thought was, there are other things that we are focused on the channel, obviously with the 2010 Bar Magnet expansion project, which I guess is the official name at this point. One of the things I'm taking a lot of inspiration from is dinosaurs, dragons, sky pirates, like I said. And if you guys have been watching the channel, then you already know that. But dragons specifically, Lego has made a lot of dragons in the past for various different themes, Bionicle included with the Cardass dragon as well, but they've also done a lot of dragons in the Ninjago series. And so I figured instead of buying that Sonic set, why not go out of my way and try to get a dragon instead? This one right here. And yes, that is in front of my face because OBS is weird. That said though, this one here is the elemental dragon, is it Jiro? I don't know how you pronounce it, so I do apologize for that. I don't really keep up to date with Ninjago or watch like the series or anything like that. But Jiro. And I saw it and I thought it looked absolutely incredible, to be honest. Ninjago has been doing a lot of really good dragons these last handful of years, probably starting with like the fire dragon specifically, one that a lot of people have gotten and a lot of people have really liked. And this kind of sits in the same vein as that as well. But I love the colors on this dragon specifically, so I decided to go ahead and pick it up. Now, I did not buy the full set. I can't afford to do that right now. Rather, I just bought the dragon by itself that I found on sale on Mercari, of all places, which if you're in the US, is just eBay-like, I guess. You don't really bid on things, but it's a secondhand market at the very least, right? And I got it for cheap. It was about $40 after shipping. So with everything paid, taxes, shipping, whatever, $40 is not bad. It's a $130 set that this dragon comes from, and it's not the only thing in that set, but I want to mess around with it. Most notably, I love the aesthetic here. It is dark blue, dark azure, bright yellow, and then tan. And if you're not familiar with the bright yellow color because you collect Bionicle sets, it's a very aesthetically pleasing color, but it was never used in Bionicle, unfortunately. And I think that was a bit of a missed opportunity, in my opinion. That said, it goes very well with this dragon here. Of course, it is like a lightning themed dragon as well. You can see the lightning pieces along the back of the tail on it as well. So it's a really gorgeous set and it's put together quite nicely. At least it looks to be. Now, again, I don't have the set in hand and it does seem to be missing just like a couple of tiny pieces that I believe I have some of, so not a big deal there. But at the end of the day, it's a really cool looking set. Now, that said, there are a couple pieces, like I said, that aren't there. That includes the little glider as well, which those glider pieces, if you're not familiar with the gimmick of this set, can actually attach to the dragon. Essentially, this glider breaks apart, and then each of its individual components can attach to the dragon itself. The body of this glider becomes like the saddle on the back, the blasters on the front attached to the wings, the spike pieces that act as like wings also attached to the wings and attached to the neck. It's really cool stuff, and I love the way that they handled it because they did it in a way that integrates quite well. But I wanted to take a couple of things away from this design because I didn't just want to get it to have it. It's quite a large build as far as I've seen, although I don't have anything to compare it to because I don't have it in hand. But I wanted to see kind of what I can learn from it, what Lego system can teach me about these dragons, and maybe utilize some of the pieces elsewhere later. I do like the specialized head mold, and of course that bottom jaw as well is also a specialized mold. But in general, it's just a nice build, you know? And so I figured I'd go out of my way, go ahead and pick it up. And then once it arrives here, obviously I can showcase it on video and talk about sort of my thoughts on it. It wouldn't necessarily be like a review video per se, again, because what would be the point? I don't have the full set. I can't give an honest review on it. But also, there are things to take away from something like this that could potentially help when it comes to my designing of sets and color schemes and things, but also to sort of work into other sets as well. Again, you can see in the background here, although he is still unfinished because there are a handful of pieces I need to get, the dragon that I built for my Bar Magna expansion project. And so I'm kind of trying to take little things away from this and sort of see, you know, what I like, what I dislike about this build and how it handles itself, if that makes sense. So that's the main bulk of the video today, but I thought it was kind of cool. So I want to know your opinion. Lego, as I mentioned, with Ninjago has made like 1 billion different dragons. Some of them are really iconic. Some of them are definitely better than others. How much experience have you had with the Lego dragons, specifically from Ninjago, but even other themes as well? And what are your thoughts on them? Do you like them? Do you dislike them? What are certain aspects of each of them that you like? Or if you have multiple dragons from Ninjago or other themes, which do you think beats out the others? Like, which would you place in first place if you had to create a dragons tier list? Maybe that's something we'll do in a video. Who knows? That said, again, I don't own any of the dragons from Ninjago until this one arrives, and so I would only be judging them based on appearance. But I will say, at the very least, that the fire dragon is a very strong dragon in terms of the aesthetic of it. Of course, having cloth wings is a big bonus. This dragon is going to have vinyl wings, and if that's not your thing, then yeah, you know, I guess you know now. But I don't hate them by any means, and I will say, for the record, for this dragon build specifically, the sort of long spindly nature of the wings here, I think it does work out reasonably well for this figure specifically, but I don't think it works out on every kind of figure, and of course it means that these wings can't fold up. The last thing I wanted to do with this build too is modify it. Once I have it in hand, I want to see kind of what I can add to the mix to change it up and do my own thing. That means maybe reorienting the back wings so that the wings can fold down, or maybe entirely making the wings something that can fold. That would be quite fun, of course, but also it can be a bit of a challenge, but it's a good challenge. It's a challenge that you learn from. When making the wings for the dragon back there, which are not great by any means, but they're not bad and they serve the purpose. Something that I learned was actually like laying out tissue paper essentially to sort of stretch across the wingspan of this creature that I was building, so I knew exactly where it was going to be folding, where it was going to be doing certain things, and that way I knew where to place like certain holes or what parts of the wing I could attach to and what parts I couldn't, because it sounds like you should just be able to attach to the wing anywhere, and that's kind of true if the wings are stationary, but once the wings start to include moving parts and actually like fold up, then aspects of where you attach things actually become really important, because you could have parts that collide or pinch or tear or pull in an opposite direction for where you think it's going to go, and so there is definitely a lot to learn. As I mentioned, that's kind of first and foremost the reason for getting something like this. It's not just a dragon, but it'll be my first from Lego, from Ninjago at the very least. I've owned dragons from Lego, probably. Again, I've owned the Card Ass Dragon. Come to think of it, though, I don't know that I've ever actually owned a dragon system build, which is interesting because I do like them. So, but that's pretty much it for this video. If you guys did enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe because it does really help out. And of course, as always, you can join the conversation in the comments or check out the links in the description for Discord, Instagram, or Patreon if you want to support the channel and get some perks. And I will see you all in the next one. Take care.